So do banks really offer free financial advice? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about what kind of advice are they going to give you, and is the free worth it? Now, if you're like most people out there today, you probably have a bank account at least. You probably at least have a checking and or a savings account that they've really probably forced you to get that savings account at the bank, right? And then you see right there, you look at over to the off to the right, and you see an office that says financial advisor. And you're thinking, ooh, maybe I should get advice from them too. And maybe that's what you're wondering. That's maybe why you're watching this video. Is it worth the free advice you get from the financial advisor at your bank? Let's just dive in and talk about that right now. Okay, so first and foremost, when you go to a bank, understand that these people are employees. There are various types of financial advisors out there. So let's just kind of talk about the different types of advisors and where do the banks fit in with this, right? First and foremost, you got commission-based advisors. These are advisors that are actually getting paid commissions off of you buying certain products, right? So and when I say products, I don't mean like you're going to Amazon, right? We're not talking about those kind of products. We're talking about things like mutual funds, various types of mutual funds-based investments. It could be your IRAs, your 401ks. It could be other types of mutual funds. It could be bonds. It could be a money market even. It could actually even be annuities and insurances and things like that. They're paid a commission based on you buying with them. And just so you're aware, guys, these financial advisors that are commission-based are actually paid different varying amounts depending on the company they use. So some companies will actually pay more than others. So the thing you have to ask in your mind is, if they're commission-based, can I trust their advice? There's also advisors that get paid just as assets under management, right? The money you give them, they charge a certain percentage. It could be usually at least 1 or 2%. It's pretty standard for most financial advisors. The more active they are, the more they think they're awesome, the more they usually charge, right? 1% is kind of the basic standard, but it's not uncommon to even see people go as high as 2 or 3% for those that say they're the best advisor out there, right? Now they'll take their money whether you make money or not. So if you have $100,000 with them, they make that 1%, $1,000 a year. Now if you have $1 million with them, they'll make $10,000 a year. Guess who they'll give more attention to? You got it, the millionaire, right? Not so much the 100,000-aire, but the millionaire they'll give more attention to because they get paid more every year. And the truth is, most of the time, those advisors really don't do a whole lot. They actually put you in the same kind of funds that you could probably do on your own, but now you pay them a commission for them to pretty much tell you to do the same thing you would have done yourself. So the problem is, we get a lot of people coming to us that will have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars with these advisors saying, well, I'm paying this advisor $10,000 a year. Well, you could pay us a lot less over that same period of time and make more money and not even get stuffed into certain types of mutual funds only, right? You can actually diversify into other places like real estate investing. So be aware that assets under management type of advisors, those that are securities type based advisors, will get paid whether you make money or not. Even if you lose money, they still get paid. Doesn't that sound kind of crappy? Doesn't that sound like robbery? Kind of sounds like that. If you want to make money in that profession, just go into that profession versus being the one that invests money with them. You'll make more money as an advisor than you will as their client. Now, the third one is a fee-based advisor. These ones are paid a fee. You pay out of pocket for this advice every single year. Now, these guys can be a little bit more unbiased. Doesn't mean they don't have opinions, but they can be more unbiased. But just be aware, again, they might have a very heavy slant or heavy opinion towards certain mutual funds or certain types of strategies. The big thing is, if you hire a fee-based advisor, I recommend going with somebody who's been there, done that, and still doing it today. That means these are people that actually could retire off of their own advice. Maybe they've actually done their own investing and can actually retire themselves. Because I want somebody with a proven track record. I don't want somebody who just says, yeah, I manage a lot of people's money, I charge them money, and that's it. Now, that's obviously paid advice. You're here to ask about the free advice. The question I'll ask you is this: what's the cost of free? How good is anything that you get for free, right? You ever heard the phrase, you get what you pay for? That's no different with financial advice. There are plenty of people willing to give you free financial advice out there right now, right? I mean, there's plenty of people, like your brother-in-law, I'm sure, is probably giving you lots of advice already. You probably got that neighbor or that friend that thinks they know everything because they took that one economics class as a freshman in college, and therefore they are the financial expert in their eyes, right? You get all these people that's like, oh, I bought Bitcoin, was this much, I made this much money with Bitcoin, I must be somebody who gives great advice. When you listen to the masses, you get bad advice, okay? The masses are pretty much always wrong. They're right for a short period of time, but eventually the market fights back and will bite them in the butt. So you do not want that kind of free advice. So therefore you think, well, what if I go to the banker? They give me free advice, right? And yeah, they can. But just so you know, they're still financial advisors. When you get the person that has like all the little letters on there and they say they're a licensed broker or whatever it might be, that person is still in one of those three categories. Now with bankers, yes, they don't necessarily charge you a fee. They don't do fee-based planning, but they still work for the bank. And as a result, they're still slanted based on that. It's like with any financial advisor you talk to, they work for a certain company, a certain broker, right? This could be like your Fidelity, your Merrill Lynch's. It could be like your Edward Jones and everything else, right? Like these guys are taught and trained by these companies to sell you something. They are salespeople. I learned this firsthand as a financial advisor. I was a financial advisor for 4 years. And I remember there was a point about 3 years in, I was getting training from a particular guy. Like we were all in the office together, there's about 100 of us. This guy gives us training. He says, guys, look at this. You know, if the market goes up 100%, you make 100%. But what if it goes down 50%? Then how much do you have? We all say 0, right? He's like, yeah, but what's your average return? We all say 0, right? He's like, well, that's your average actual return is 0% because yeah, it went up 100% and then dropped in half, so it went back down to that level. But he's like, do the math, guys. You take 100 minus 50, because it was 100% gain, 50% loss, because you doubled and then you lost half, so you're back to where you were. But he's like 100 minus 50 is 50. Divided by 2 years, you have a 25% average rate of return. And our minds were blown. All these financial advisors, some have been doing this for decades, never knew this one simple mathematical concept of average and how average is actually a lie. So when you hear average rates of return from advisors, they are giving you a number like that 25%, even though you only made 0. Of course they're going to tell you 25. And by the way, they're not held accountable, are they? Because they're not lying to you, are they? They're actually telling you the truth. It sounds better. That truth sounds better than the actual truth, which was I didn't make any money. And actually, after my fees came out, I probably have less than what I actually started with. That's the thing you have to be aware of, is that you're trained by these companies. I remember I approached that trainer out in the parking lot. I said, listen, I just did the math here. If I would have invested my money in 1995 until at that point at 2005, if I would have had my money not in a place where it lost money, it would have been more guaranteed, I would have more money despite the roaring 90s that the market went crazy, but then Y2K hit us and then we were recovering again. I would have more money in this certain thing than riding the stock market waves. And you know what the guy told me? He said, listen, I can tell you're young, you're in your late 20s. You can ride those big waves. You can take more risks. We just wanted to give this option for people that are scared of the market like old people. And it was at that moment I realized, guys, that I was just simply a salesman in a suit. They were just offering another offering so that they could fit another target demographic, right? Another target audience. People that are scared of the market, they're like, great, here's your more guaranteed thing that you can do where you won't lose money in the market. But hey, it's like these index things, right? You can do these index type of accounts instead. Or you can do the whole stock market, volatility stuff. He's like, we got something for everybody. We got a product for you and you and you. You get a car, you get a car. Oh, except you're gonna lose a car when the market goes down. You're gonna lose a car, right? That's kind of what it's like. And so the banker is no different. So you go in for that free advice from the banker. One, these bankers, I'll tell you, they are employees. They're not even people that could retire off their own advice. So they are employees of the bank. They're getting paid a salary. They're just doing the same thing every other American is doing. They just happen to be knowing about some of these product offerings that the bank offers to you. They are employees of the bank, not employees for you. Yes, they have a fiduciary responsibility, and I don't believe that they're trying to hurt you because I'll tell you, as a financial advisor, I didn't want to hurt anybody. I wanted to give people the best thing I thought was out there. But my view was narrowed because of those companies only giving me what they offer, not what's actually really available to you. That's where you got to be aware of. So remember, free advice is never free, and there's always going to be a preference, right? There's always going to be a slant. Heck, I've got opinions too. I love real estate investing because I know I can kick the crap out of the stock market doing real estate investing, and I know it's more certain. But it doesn't mean that our clients won't still put money in the stock market, right? Because we want to give you that freedom to be able to do the things that you feel is best for you. And so be aware of that kind of advice. It can bite you in the butt. Now, if you actually want to see what other options could I have, maybe I can do something better than the bank, I would invite you to do this. Go to moneyripples.com, try out our passive income calculator. You can actually put in your numbers in there and find out what kind of passive income you could create over the next year or so with the money you actually have. And that's passive real income. It's not future possible retirement money down the road, 30 or 40 years from now, that may or may not be there. It's like, what kind of money could you actually create in the next 12 months? Try that passive income calculator at moneyripples.com right now.